ears. I like to, when I'm sewing on the ears, I'll go over through the front and then around the back. And you want to make sure that you keep these straight pins nice and tucked close to the piece that you're sewing it onto, as much as possible anyways. So I've got the thread coming out right here. I'm going to, this is kind of willy-nilly a little bit. So I'm gonna get it underneath one of the legs of this stitch right here. But sometimes if you can only get just like a part of a stitch, like you've only got like one, like this isn't a full strand of yarn that you're putting your needle through, that's okay. If, you know, as much as you can get, that's what you want to do. Okay, so I've attached it a little bit here, and then I'm going to go back through here and attach it again. And then this is kind of where this straight pin's going to get in the way, so I'm actually going to pull that out. And then I'm going to go through that same spot that I kind of went through already and attach that. Okay, so now that's more solid, and I'm going to go over here to this next. We're going through the front loops of each of these sort of like chains that you kind of get after you finish a stitch, just through the front loops of those stitches. And you want to try and keep it, see, look, I'm only catching part of the strand of yarn that was used on that stitch. You want to keep it as close, you want to kind of weave it so that it's underneath. You want to sew it so that it's underneath this. So you don't want to be stretching it out. You don't want to be going all the way over here when you're sewing it on. You want to try and keep it directly under, as much as you can, directly under the ear, because you don't want to see, as much as you can, you don't want to see the yarn pulling it outwards, because then it kind of looks sloppy. So you're going to sort of go this direction. And again, just through these loops. And I like to try and get it so that when I come out, where I go in and come out is directly underneath that next loop. Ish. You kind of got to go ish with a lot of this sewing. Because sometimes you want to put your needle in where there's no stitch, and it's like, oh, that's not going to fit. So you just kind of fudge it a little bit. See, a lot of the time I don't pick up a full, it's just like a small part. It's like one of the plies of the yarn that I'm picking up. And I'll pull it this way when I'm looking for where I'm supposed to put the needle next, because then it can get in the way and it's like, what am I looking at here? So pull it that way. Go to the next one. And then also, as you're sewing, sometimes this can kind of move a little bit, and just anytime that sort of pops out, just push it back in. Okay, now we're coming to the end here. So I'm going to pull this out part of the way so that I don't lose where I want it to be, and just go, it's about there-ish, and then I'll pull that out. Okay, and then I'm going back through that one that we just went through, and I'm going to put it about there. Okay, so we've got the front sewn on, and you can see it's like nice and concise there. It's not, you don't have threads hanging out all the way over here. You're trying to keep it directly underneath, so it's nice and flat and blended. And then we're gonna go over this way, And we're going to do the same thing that we did. And you do have to be careful when you're doing this that you don't like pushing it all the way out here. Sometimes if you're having troubles doing like this is being pushed like way too far over, then you can use another straight pin and put it right there to keep it from going all over the place. Okay, and the next strand. Just always keeping it as much as you can underneath directly underneath where that outer edge of the ear is going to sit. As much as you can. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not an exact science. And then we're coming up to the end here. Okay, so we finished sewing on the one ear, and you can see it looks nice and even there. You don't have strands coming out of here. And now, because this is a different color than the head, I'm going to weave the ends in through the ear. But if it was the same color, I would prefer to weave it into the head just as another anchor point from the ear into the head.